And so it's really our choice. Do we want Christ to rule this age or Satan? Well, it depends. Do we want to continue on in our sins or not? And that's why when people go to they go to really good monasteries, a good healthy monastery, they walk in. It's a very interesting thing that happens. Just walking into the property of the monastery, a lot of people have reported to me, and I've had this happen myself. All the things that they were concerned about, all their anxieties, all the questions they had, just kind of fled away, and they just feel a
Mm.
sense of peace. And they go, "Oh my goodness, this must be what's considered normal. This is what normal life is. This is how life is supposed to be." But we're so used to it in a world of anxiety and turmoil and confusion, we don't even notice it. Go to a monastery where grace reigns, and just going on the property, a lot of times people experience that, and you'll go, "My goodness, this is how I'm supposed to live. This is what it's like to have Christ present in everything that we do." God willing, we create that in our own hearts, in our own homes, in our parishes. But you get little tastes of it, not just in monasteries too. Some people in the Divine Liturgy. I've had many. I don't know how many people. I mean, we've got a lot of catechumens right now, more than I can handle. Honestly, we're nearing 100, and many of them have told me their first Divine Liturgy. Once that liturgy began, they just started weeping, and they didn't even know why. And they said they felt something different, and they felt home. How do you explain that when the liturgy seems so foreign and you don't know what's going on? Your heart is yearning for something. Why? Well, because the devil's been cast out here. Christ is the
Mm.
true ruler, and you realize what his king. You get a little taste of what his kingdom is really about. So I would say that this world has the devil as its ruler, but there are little pockets all over the place where the devil has been pushed out and Christ has been properly worshipped on his throne.
Well, it almost seems like the devil has to manifest itself through corporations. And I know that sounds a little out there, but I mean, if you look at where the push to hedonism, the push towards, gender ideologies and so on and so forth, it seems to be promulgated the most in things such as like Hollywood, the media, and a lot of even modern advertisement, pushes the same agenda. So I feel that the only way that makes any sense within that ideology would be that there is a greater force that's trying to do that, because it's clearly destructive. And I guess you could make the same argument for communism, which is a different but very pretty much the same manifestation of that separation from Christ, and the separation of essentially man from himself and from everybody else around him, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to say anything that gets me in trouble with people, this will probably be it. So be it. When I was younger, I was very into politics, and I was a big, pro capitalism. Capitalism's the way to go. Rah rah, free market. And over time, I started to much more embrace the idea that Alexander Solzhenitsyn did. When Alexander Solzhenitsyn, if people don't know who he is, he was a Russian citizen who was placed in the Soviet gulags and was a dissident and an incredible author. His most famous work is the Gulag Archipelago, a massive work that he memorized because he had nothing to write it down when he was in the gulags. Um, when he came to the United States, he expected to find the exact opposite of communism. And what he discovered was, he said, communism and capitalism are really just two sides of the same coin because they both focus on materialism. He said, what we really need is a spiritual revival. We need to focus on the soul of man. I've come to believe, I think he's absolutely right about that. When you look at corporations, essentially what they're doing is when they advertise, they're trying to convince you that, again, that yearning, that dissatisfaction you feel with this life can be fulfilled by their product.
Mm.
And you don't just want it, you need it. And that's the way to go. And when you have one after another corporation constantly competing for your attention and your dollar, well, suddenly now we have advertisements all over the place where, I mean, everywhere you drive, you see these advertisements. You go to the gas station and they have to have commercials. I mean, you can't even pump gas in peace anymore. You have to have commercials blaring at you.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know, you have to go to the mall and sometimes they have TVs in between the elevators because God forbid you wait 20 seconds for the elevator and not have a commercial blaring at you. And all this noise is really destructive to us. And I actually I don't like going to malls. I actually get claustrophobic is not the right word, but spiritually I feel oppressed in malls. I feel the exact opposite of when I'm in church because all this stuff is blaring at you and I can't keep my peace when I'm there. So, well, what happens when all of man's basic needs are met? I mean, you can be lower middle class in America, and by historical standards, you're very wealthy.
Yeah.
You have air conditioning, you have heat, you have transportation, you have a phone. I mean, the phone in our pocket is like a miracle of technology. It's
Yeah.
incredible. We have more access to information than we ever have before. Well, what happens when all that's met? Well, then we need to be told that there are actually other needs that are deeper that you need to find. And when man searches for purpose everywhere but God, he's going to start inventing new things when everything else has failed him. And so now we've gone into this realm where we're inventing, gender ideology. Why is there an ideology around gender? I mean, to all of human history, that would just seem odd. But now we have people whose entire lives are focused around these things because, again, in their defense, their heart is yearning for something deeper,
Mm.
and they can't find it. And they've been fed this lie about Christianity, that it'll never fulfill you. It's only about division. It's only going to make you more judgmental. I mean, when was the last time you watched any television, fictional show where there was a positive display of what a Christian looked like, where you saw a Christian who was actually struggling for virtue, humility, and love?
I don't think I've ever seen one, to be honest with you.
Exactly, exactly. So, it's sad that we live in this world. At the same time, what a blessing. What a blessing. Saint Paisius said that the saints of old would have yearned to live in our age, because today, instead of great feats of asceticism and martyrdom, if we strive for the faith just a little bit, we'll be counted among the martyrs, because you have to buck the trends of this world, and it's so hard. There's so many pressures all around you. But if you make your fight a positive one, what are you fighting for? I'm fighting for Christ. I'm fighting for heaven. I'm fighting for peace, for humility, for love. It it's not only possible, but it's worthwhile, and it's beautiful. And I think that's, we're seeing this big explosion of orthodoxy all over the country, really all over the world. I think because people are discovering that this faith, which tells you, be crucified, but do it for Christ, do it for the right reasons. People are discovering there's actually a lot of beauty in that, and they feel at peace.
I agree with you. And with that, Father Paul, I want to thank you so much for your time. This has been a really insightful conversation for me, and I'm sure that my audience is going to take a lot away from it. And I think that you tackled a lot of the misconceptions that people have, not just around Orthodoxy, but I think Christianity as a whole. So I do want to thank you, deeply from the bottom of my heart for doing what you're doing.
My pleasure.
And now I just want to maybe give you a minute or two, however long you need, to tell people, how they can find you and how we could support what you're doing.
Yeah. Our website is sppoc.org, for Saints Peter and Paul Orthodox Church, sppoc.org. If people want to visit the website, you're more than welcome. We're kind of rebuilding the website, and I'm on YouTube. If you just search Father Paul Salt Lake, I don't even know what my page is called. I don't really do social media. I'm not on Instagram or anything like that. You can find me on Facebook, but I'm not going to add you as a friend, because I don't add anybody. I never go on Facebook. So it's really just YouTube. A lot of people take my videos and they put it on Instagram and other things, and that's fine. I'm fine as long as they don't pretend to be me. So apparently I'm there, but yeah, you can find me on YouTube. And if you want to learn more about Orthodoxy, if you search my name, just put in Father Paul and Catechism, and you'll find my whole Catechism series from 2022. And that's a good way to kind of dive into begin understanding Orthodoxy.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Father. It was a pleasure.
It was a great joy for me as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.